The stars shined quietly over the Galactic Council station, floating in deep space. Inside the council hall, leaders of different alien species sat around a wide glowing table. They had gathered to discuss a new race, humans from planet Earth. Chancellor Velton, a large lizard-like creature with green scales, stood up. "We have watched these humans for over 100 cycles. They fight, they love, they destroy, and they build, but they are harmless." Murmurs of agreement filled the room. Another council member, a long-fingered creature named Alor, added, "They are chaotic, yes, but they are too emotional, too short-lived. They cannot threaten us. They are still learning to control their own planet." Then, someone stood at the edge of the hall. He was younger, smaller, and less known. His name was Zorak, a quiet observer from the planet liner. "I disagree," Zorak said, his voice soft but clear. "I studied them closely. They hide their strength. They evolve faster than any species we have seen. Their minds adapt." The council laughed. One member joked, "Are you afraid of monkeys with fire sticks?" Zorak did not smile. He placed a crystal recorder on the table. "They pretend to be weak, but they think in ways we do not understand. They learn pain. They use fear. They hide everything under humor and kindness." The council refused to listen. They stamped the report. Humanity ranked harmless months. Later, near the edge of council space, a small planet named Dravik-9 stopped sending signals. It was a peaceful world. No enemies, no warnings. The last message was short and strange. "We saw them. Humans." They smiled. Then, nothing. A scout ship was sent. It found no signs of war. Cities were empty. No bodies, just silence. Zorak read the report with worry. "This is not normal. Humans don't have this technology. Not yet." Another planet, Kelron, followed the same fate. And then another. Still. The council believed it was a virus or space anomaly. "They are not a threat," said Velton once. Again. "Even their weapons are basic. They travel slow. They die quickly. They are not like us." But Zorak knew something was wrong. He requested permission to visit Earth personally. It was denied, so he went in secret. Zorak's ship landed on Earth, in a remote forest, away from human cities. He changed his appearance, using a disguise unit. Now, he looked like an ordinary man. He walked through towns. People laughed. Children played. There was peace. But under the surface, he noticed something strange. Humans used machines that weren't recorded in council, data tools that responded to thoughts, glasses that read emotions, buildings that healed themselves. They were hiding their real progress. More than that, Zorak saw a pattern. Every time a human looked at him, they looked too deeply, as if scanning his mind, as if they knew he wasn't one of them. He returned to his ship in fear. Before he could send a warning to the council, his ship lost power. A human stood outside, not armed, not angry, just calm. "We know who you are," she said. Her voice was gentle. "You watched us. Now we'll show you who we really are." Zorak tried to run, but everything around him faded. The trees, the stars, even the air, became still. Then the voice came again, not through ears, but inside his mind. "You called us harmless. That was your first mistake." Back at the council hall, a sudden message appeared on every screen across the galaxy. It had no source, no origin. Just a dark background and a simple sentence, glowing in red. "You ranked us. You labeled us. Now we show you the cost of your mistake." Fear spread like fire. Zorak was gone, and the planets kept disappearing. The Galactic Council was in panic. Planet after planet had gone silent. No distress calls, no battles, no survivors. Just silence. The first was Dravik-9, then Vernus Prime. All peaceful, small planets that welcomed strangers, and now they were gone. Not destroyed, not attacked, just vanished. Council leader Velton stared at the holographic map. Red marks glowed where each planet had disappeared. He slammed his fist on the table. This is not possible. No one has that kind of power. Not even the oldest races. Beside him, council member Allure looked pale. The humans. Zorak tried to warn us. Someone whispered Zorak is missing, too. The room went quiet. In a dark part of the galaxy, a scout ship flew toward Zarnis 3, the next planet near the missing ones. The crew of 5 was made of different species. They joked nervously, trying to hide their fear. I heard humans walk into cities, and the lights turn off, one said. No weapons, just smiles, said another. Then silence. The captain rolled his eyes. Enough stories. This is a rescue mission. We'll find survivors and report back. But when they reached Zarnis 3, it was just like the others, no signs of war. Buildings were perfect, no fires, no damage. Yet, no one was there. Empty streets, food left on tables, machines still running, but not a single voice, not a single life. Then, they found something strange. A wall, covered with drawings, stick figures. Simple, like made by children. But they showed something terrible. The drawings told a story. A spaceship lands, humans step out, they shake hands. Then slowly, the alien drawings fade, one by one. Only humans remain. At the bottom, one line was scratched in red. They didn't kill us. They became us. Back at Council headquarters, Velton was losing control. More planets had stopped responding. 10 now. A pattern was clear. They are spreading, Allure said. No weapons, no ships, just presence. A recording came from the last scout. Ship it played in the council chamber. We landed on Zarnis 3. There's no one here, but it feels like they're watching. I saw someone, a human, smiling. Then my crew started acting strange. They said they felt happy. They want to stay. The voice grew shaky. I'm the only one who wants to leave. The others. They say the humans are family now. I'm locking myself in the ship. If I disappear too, please. Please warn the galaxy. The message ended. No more contact from that ship. Allure stood up. This is not war. This is something else. They don't use guns. They use minds, words, feelings. Velton shook his head. That's not possible. No species can control thoughts. But humans can adapt, Allure said. They learn emotions. They blend in. They make you feel safe. And when you feel safe, you stop fighting. Council rooms buzzed with fear. Some members started packing to leave for their homeworlds. One shouted, we called them harmless. Now they're taking over without a fight. Far away, on a hidden moon, a group of alien scientists studied old human records. They found a pattern. In history, Earth's history, humans did not just fight with weapons. They fought with ideas. They used music, stories, promises. Empires rose and fell. Not just by war, but by belief, by spreading dreams. They don't destroy, the lead scientist whispered. They replace, slowly, quietly, and willingly. He stared at the last screen, showing Earth's message again. You ranked us, now we rank you. At the edge of the galaxy, the next target was ready. A bright, happy planet called Solaris, known for peace and joy. A ship landed. Humans stepped out. They carried no weapons, only books, medicines, gifts. The aliens welcomed them with open arms. No one noticed. What came next? A soft change. People started dressing like humans, talking like humans, thinking like humans. The alien schools began teaching Earth history. The songs changed. The food changed. Within days, Solaris was no longer Solaris. It was a new version of Earth. Back at the council, Velton gave his final order. Close the borders. Ban all human contact. This is a silent invasion. But it was too late. One of the council members, a wise old being named Crotha, stood up with a smile on his face. He looked around and said gently, "Why are we so afraid? The humans, they make us better." Velton froze. Crotha's eyes were different now, kind, soft, human, and the rest of the council began to smile too. Zorak opened his eyes slowly. He was lying inside a strange room on Earth. The walls were smooth, glowing gently like soft sunlight. Machines floated around him, scanning his body without touching, but nothing hurt. In fact, he felt peaceful, too peaceful. He sat up, confused. "Where am I?" A calm voice answered from the wall. "You are safe, Zorak. We did not harm you. We only wanted to show you the truth." Zorak's heart raced. He remembered landing secretly on Earth. He remembered the strange human woman who spoke inside his mind, and then, nothing now. He was in this quiet, clean place, with no windows and no doors. "I don't want peace," he said. "I want answers." The wall turned transparent. Zorak saw a city outside, but not the one he expected. It wasn't the Earth shown in council records. No smoke, no noise, no chaos. Instead, floating buildings sparkled in the sky. Roads moved smoothly without cars. Trees glowed with energy. Humans walked calmly, talking to machines like friends. Children learned in classrooms made of light and sound. It was like a dream. "This is not the Earth we know," Zorak whispered. "No." The voice replied, "This is the real Earth, the one we kept hidden." Years ago, when the Galactic Council first discovered Earth, humans realized something important. They were being watched, so they created a trick. They built two versions of their world, one for outsiders to see, full of war, politics, and confusion. The other was secret. Underground cities, hidden technology, silent evolution. Zorak watched as holograms played in the air, showing human scientists creating brain-computer links, emotion-sharing devices, and powerful nanotech that could heal or build in seconds. They didn't just grow smarter, they grew together. Zorak spoke again, trying to stay calm. "Why would you hide this from the galaxy?" The voice answered with sadness. "Because your galaxy feared what it didn't understand. We showed you what you expected, chaos and weakness, so you would leave us alone. But why now?" he asked. "Why start spreading across planets?" The voice paused. "Because you judged us. You gave us a rank, harmless. That word gave us permission. Permission to move freely, to study you, to evolve faster, and to prepare." Zorak clenched his fists. Prepare for what? The walls dimmed. And then, a human stepped into the room. It was the same woman from the forest. Her eyes were calm. Her smile was soft. "To teach the galaxy what real evolution looks like," she said. Zorak was taken to the central human core, a floating sphere above Earth's real capital. Hidden inside the Arctic dot, he met other humans. They welcomed him with kindness, even though they knew he was once their enemy. He saw people who could read emotions, speak through thoughts, and even share memories with a single touch. They had merged with machines not as slaves, but as partners. Human AI teams worked as one. Some built cities in seconds. Others created cures for alien diseases never seen before. But the most shocking thing, they never used violence. They didn't conquer. They offered help, and people accepted it willingly. "Do you want to know our secret?" the woman asked. Zorak nodded slowly. "We didn't become powerful by building bigger weapons," she said. "We became powerful by understanding fear, love, pain, and hope. We evolved through emotion, not war." Zorak stood in silence. He remembered all the planets that disappeared. No signs of death, no destruction, only humans, walking in and being welcomed. Now he understood. Humanity wasn't invading, they were upgrading. Back at the Galactic Council, Confusion had turned into chaos. More council members had vanished. Some joined the humans. Others locked themselves in their ships. Entire planets requested to join Earth's network, calling it the Unified Path. Velton stood alone in the Great Hall. "Where is Zorak?" he demanded. He went to Earth. He must have answers. But there was no reply. Only a new message flashed on every screen. "Humanity is not rising. We have already risen. Now it's your turn." Zorak stood in the core, watching the galaxy map. One by one, more planets were lighting up Earth's presence, spreading like gentle fire. He felt a strange emotion. It wasn't fear, it was respect, maybe even hope. The galaxy waited, after Earth's secrets were revealed, and its hidden evolution exposed. Every planet was watching. Some were afraid, others were curious, but no one knew what humans would do next. Would they attack? Would they take over? But when humanity finally made its first move, it was nothing like the galaxy expected. On the peaceful planet Tavari, a small silver ship appeared in the sky. It didn't have weapons or shields. It made no demands. It simply landed in a quiet valley near a village. The Tavari people, tall and blue-skinned, gathered around the ship with caution. Then, the door opened. 2 humans stepped out, 1 man and 1 woman dressed in clean, simple clothes. They smiled and bowed politely. "We bring knowledge," the woman said. "We bring help." The Tavari leader asked, "Do you come to rule us?" The man shook his head. "No, we come to learn, with you, and to offer what we've learned." Soon, more human ships landed on other planets. They brought machines that could grow food in deserts, small devices that healed wounds in seconds, solar trees that gave free energy to whole cities. They didn't charge anything. They didn't build armies. They just helped. But something deeper happened. On every planet, the same pattern appeared. The people didn't just use the technology. They started asking questions. What do humans believe in? What is empathy? How do you live in peace after pain? And slowly, without force or war, the galaxy began to change. Back at the Galactic Council, many leaders were confused. "Why are they doing this?" one asked. "What is their real plan? They must be hiding something," another said. But Zorak, who had returned from Earth, stood up. "They are not hiding. This is who they are now. They evolve, and they help others evolve too." Velton growled, "No species gives without wanting something in return." Zorak replied calmly, "Maybe humanity wants something greater than power. Maybe they want peace that lasts." On the war-torn planet Dranis, humans arrived next. It was a dying world, broken by centuries of war. No one trusted outsiders, but the humans didn't ask for trust. They simply began rebuilding schools, healing children, and restoring water. One day, a Dranis warlord asked a human engineer, "Why are you helping us? We have nothing to give." The engineer smiled. "You have your future, and that's enough." In the shadows, some alien groups feared the change. They saw what was happening not just on the surface, but deep inside cultures. Aliens were speaking like humans, thinking like humans, feeling like humans. A secret group of council leaders met. In private, "They are not invading planets," one said. "They are invading minds." To stop it, they planned to create a communication block or a device that could block Earth's signals across the galaxy. They believed if people couldn't hear human ideas, the influence would stop. But the humans knew already. One of the engineers who built the blocker was half-human. She stopped the plan before it could start. "I used to be like you," she said, "afraid, angry, lost. But then I met them, and now I understand. Humanity doesn't control people. It awakens them." In the capital of the planet Orin, a grand speech was held. Thousands gathered to listen to the first official human ambassador speak. Illyra, the same woman who had spoken to Zorak before, stood before the crowd. She didn't talk about Earth's power. She didn't talk about history. She talked about pain. Our planet suffered, she said. We broke ourselves many times, but every time, we learned, we grew, and now, we want to share that growth not through war, but through wisdom. The crowd was silent. Then, one voice shouted, "We accept." Others cheered, and another planet joined Earth's alliance by choice. Back in the council chamber, Velton sat alone. A new report arrived on his desk. 67 planets had accepted. Human presence, not forced, not bought, chosen, he whispered. This is not an invasion. This is something new. Humanity's first move was not a weapon. It was a message. We were called harmless, but we hold the power to heal. Will you let us? And the galaxy began to answer. The galaxy was changing. From the outer systems to the central stars. People whispered the same word. Humans. They didn't arrive with warships. They didn't bring armies. They came in small ships, clean, smooth, and unarmed. On every planet. They landed. They brought books, medicines, and ideas. They smiled. They listened. They helped. And slowly, quietly, they changed everything. On the planet Veldora, a green world full of forests and music, the people welcomed the humans with open arms. The humans fixed broken machines, taught new farming methods, and healed the sick with small glowing tools. In just a few days, Veldora was full of laughter. The humans were friendly, curious, and respectful. But something strange happened. Music began to change. It started to sound more like Earth songs. The food began to taste like human recipes. Even the clothing slowly copied human styles. No one forced this change. The people simply chose it. Back at the Galactic Council, Leader Velton watched in silence. More and more planets were requesting to join Earth's network. They're not attacking, he said. They're inviting. They're spreading like a soft wind, said Alor, and that wind is turning into a storm. One council member, a bird-like creature named Terra, stood up. But are we sure it's bad? My planet accepted them. We've never been healthier. Our children are learning faster than ever. Velton slammed his hand on the table. That's how it starts. They offer gifts, and then they take your mind, your culture, your soul. But they didn't force us, Terra replied gently. We chose it. Zorak, now living on Earth's hidden core, watched the change across the galaxy. He still had doubts, but what he saw was not destruction. It was something new. On the planet Euraxis, a world known for violence and war, humans arrived with nothing but stories. They sat with the warlords and shared tales of Earth, of pain, of peace, of rebuilding, and something strange happened. The warlords cried. For the first time in centuries, the people of Euraxis laid down their weapons, not because they were beaten, but because they felt something different. Hope. In the shadows, a small group of alien leaders formed a secret alliance. They called themselves the Pure Circle. Their goal, stop the human influence. They are changing who we are, one said. They are not killing us. They are replacing us. They planned to strike Earth directly, to destroy its core and stop the spread. But when they reached Earth's orbit, they found no military base. Only a voice spoke to them from deep space. You can destroy our planet, but the idea of Earth already lives in your hearts. The ships turned back. Some crew members even refused to return. They chose Earth instead. Zorak walked with the same human woman who first captured him, now his friend and guide. He asked, "Was this always your plan? To take over the galaxy without war?" She smiled. "Not take over. Just share. We suffered on Earth. We destroyed our world many times, but we learned from pain. And now, we offer what we learned." Zorak looked at the stars. "But many fear you." "We understand," she said softly. "Fear comes before understanding. That's why we come with kindness, not orders." Back in the council chamber, Velton was losing support. Half the council had joined Earth's alliance. He stood alone, shouting, "You fools! You gave them your minds." A quiet voice answered, "No, they gave us back our souls." Velton turned. It was Allure. His eyes were different now, calm, clear, human, across the galaxy. Cities began to glow with Earth's light. Schools taught about both local culture and Earth's ideas. Peace spread faster than any war ever had, and in every place humans arrived, the people didn't just accept them, they became them. The invasion was complete, but there were no explosions, no screams, no fire, just smiles, just peace, just change. The stars were quieter now. Planet after planet had joined Earth's peaceful path. No wars, no invasions, just stories, healing, and slow transformation. But not everyone accepted this change. In a cold, dark corner of the galaxy, a small group of leaders gathered in secret. They were the last few who still resisted the spread of humanity. They called themselves the Last Council. Zorak sat among them. No longer an enemy of Earth, but not fully human either. "I know what you're thinking," Zorak said, "that we must stop them before it's too late. But listen to me, there is no war, no weapons, only an idea, and ideas cannot be stopped with guns." The leader of the Last Council, General Vorin, growled, "Then we'll destroy the source. Earth must fall. It's the only way." Zorak looked down. He had once believed the same thing, but now, after seeing Earth's real evolution, he was unsure. "They don't conquer with force," he said. "They evolve, and people choose it." Vorin slammed his fist on the table. "That's why it's dangerous. It spreads like a disease. People lose who they are." Others nodded. Some were afraid. Some were angry. All were desperate. A massive fleet was prepared. The Last Council called it Operation Pure Sky. The goal: reach Earth, destroy the core, and block the spread of human influence. Hundreds of warships began the journey. Their weapons were strong. Their shields were powerful, but as they traveled through space, strange things started to happen. Crew members began to act differently. They listened to Earth music. They read human books. Some even changed their names. Boren grew suspicious. "Check all systems," he ordered. "Scan for viruses." But there were no viruses. No mind control. It was something deeper. Humans had already been there. Not physically, but through signals, broadcasts, and stories. Earth had shared its dreams, and the hearts of the soldiers had listened. One of the captains, a young alien named Yarel, stood before Vorin. "I was born to fight," Yarel said. "But after I heard the humans speak, I realized I've never truly lived." "You were weak," Vorin spat. "No," Yarel replied. "I'm free." And just like that, another ship turned away. Then another, and another. Vorin watched in horror as half his fleet left the mission. Not because of fear, but because of hope. Zorak stood alone on his ship, staring at Earth from a distance. It didn't look dangerous. It looked beautiful. He remembered when he thought humans were foolish, chaotic, weak. But now he saw the truth. They were strong not with weapons, but with understanding. They knew pain. They knew fear. And they had turned those into something powerful. Compassion. Vorin reached Earth's orbit with only a few ships left. He sent a message. "This is your last chance. Surrender your core, or be destroyed." A reply came instantly. It was a child's voice. "Why would we fight you? We only wanted to share. If you fear change, we will not force it." Vorin's face twisted with rage. "Prepare the weapons." Zorak appeared on the screen. "Vorin, stop. This is not who we are anymore. You've gone soft, Zorak." "No," Zorak said calmly. "I've grown." The weapons charged, but before they could fire, Earth sent something unexpected. Not lasers, not ships, but light. A soft wave of glowing energy spread from the planet. It touched each attacking ship gently. The lights dimmed. The systems went quiet. And in their place came memories, feelings, images, and songs from Earth. Families reunited. Soldiers who once fought now held hands. Children laughing. Worlds healing. The war was over before it began. Vorin sat in silence. He had never seen such power. No one had fired a single shot. The last council disbanded. The few who remained in fear went into hiding, and those who stayed became part of something new across the stars. The galaxy changed, not by command, not by force, but by choice, and Earth, once called harmless, now stood as the center of unity. Zorak returned to Earth, not as a prisoner, but as a friend. He looked up at the stars and smiled. "The war is over," he said, "but the story has just begun." The galaxy was quiet. No more battles, no more invasions, no more fear. Earth's light had spread across thousands of worlds, not through war but through kindness, understanding, and change. Planets once full of hate now sang songs of peace. Children of different species learned side by side in Earth-inspired schools. But one final meeting remained. The Galactic Council, now broken and scattered, was called to gather once more on Earth. It was the first time in history the Council would meet outside its own territory. Some called it Judgment Day. Zorak stood at the edge of Earth's great hall. He looked around. Creatures from every corner of the galaxy had come, leaders, scientists, warriors, and even old enemies. They all waited in silence. Then the doors opened. A single human walked in. She was not wearing armor. She didn't carry weapons. She looked simple, calm, and ordinary. But her presence was powerful. Her name was Alira, the chosen speaker for Earth. She stepped forward and spoke softly. "Thank you all for coming. Today, we are not here to rule. We are here to decide." General Vorin, once the leader of the last council, stood up. His voice was rough. "Why should we trust humans? You spread across the stars. You changed everything. Some of us never asked for this." Alira nodded gently. "You are right, General. Many were afraid. Change is hard, but we never forced anyone. We only offered a choice." Another council member asked, "So, what now? Do we all become like you?" Alira smiled. "No, we don't want copies. We want unity. A galaxy where everyone keeps their culture, their identity, but walks the path of peace together." The room stayed silent for a moment. Then Zorak stepped forward. "I once warned the council about humans," he said. "I called them dangerous. I feared what they could become." He paused, looking directly at Alira. "But I was wrong. The real danger was our blindness. We thought strength only came through power and war. We never understood that true strength comes through empathy." He turned to the crowd. "I have seen their evolution, not just in machines or knowledge, but in hearts. And now I ask you to see it too." Alira raised her hand. A glowing map of the galaxy appeared. One by one, planets lit up: blue for those that joined Earth's alliance, yellow for those that remained neutral, and red for the few still in fear. "We don't need everyone to join," she said. "We just want peace. Real peace. No ranks. No empires. Just cooperation." A vote was called. Each world would decide. One by one, voices rang out. Planet Yulan, yes. World of Sithrabstain, home of Grithans. And then, ... Planet Liner, yes, Zorak said with pride. The votes continued, and slowly, the blue lights outnumbered all others the galaxy had chosen. Vorin stood again, but this time his voice was soft. "I fought you. I hated you. But today, I saw something I never believed possible. A galaxy not ruled by fear, but by hope." He looked around. "If this is Judgment Day, then I judge you, humanity, as worthy." Alira bowed her head. "Thank you. But then, she raised her hand. Again, there is one final thing, she said. We must erase the old ranking system. Gasps filled the room. What? Someone asked. Elira continued. No more charts. No more harmless or dangerous. No more labels. Every species has the right to grow, to fail, and to learn without being judged. The room fell silent again. Then Zorak smiled. Yes, let today not just be Judgment Day, but the day we stop judging. The vote passed. The old system was destroyed. From now on, the galaxy would walk a new path together. Outside, the skies above Earth were filled with light. Ships from every world flew peacefully in the same sky. Children played. Elders told stories. Soldiers laid down their arms and built instead of destroyed. And deep in the stars, the voice of Earth echoed not loud, but clear. We were called harmless. We stayed quiet. We watched. We learned. And when the time came, we offered something greater than war. Zorak stood beside Elira, watching the sky. Do you think it will last? He asked. Elira looked up. Only if we protect it together. Zorak nodded. Then let's begin. Hi. This story is made by a human just for fun. It's not real. All the characters and events are made up. Thanks for watching.